Well, hello. This is my first live on my channel, my very tiny little bitty channel. And I don't look pretty. I don't have makeup on. I just had a shower. But I really want to get this video out. Been wanting to do it for a while. You can tell I don't have makeup on. But and I need to get it out before next week. So I figured I would chronicle something that's been going on with me, and I don't know how long this chronicle will be. It could come to a happy end next Friday. Next Friday is October 6th, 2023. And so I just thought I would tell you what's going on. So, about a year ago, I started having symptoms that were weird. And so we're talking about a medical thing that's been going on with me. Or in the beginning, I didn't think it was really medical. I thought it was just, weird aging things. Um, I don't know what my length that I'm allowed to have on here is, so I'm kind of going to try to be short. But I just want to talk about this because I don't know what the future is going to hold. I don't know what the test results are going to be next week. I do have a test coming up, that a procedure, and I'll have results next week and find out what's been going on. Could be good, or at least something not so bad. Could be something really bad. I don't know. So, about a year ago, I guess, maybe more than a year ago, I started having these weird symptoms where if I woke up before a certain time in the morning, my stomach would just be burning like crazy. It would be so uncomfortable. And for some reason, it was like if I woke up before 7 a.m. If I woke up after 7 a.m., this didn't seem to happen. And it went on for long enough where I finally told my dad about it. I said, it's so weird. And of course, my dad being who he is, he's like, well, just don't wake up before 7. Well, that would be logical, but there's something going on. Well, it eventually went away. So the next thing that started happening, oh, by the way, just to let you know, we're going to be talking about some stools and in pretty good detail. So if that stuff makes you queasy, then you're welcome to not listen. Uh, so the next thing that happened was um, there was a change in, my bathroom habits and a change in the color of what was happening. So it went from the normal color that we all know, the emoji can tell you what that color is, to a very, very dark, dark greenish black color. And this went on for, I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. And I was like, what on earth is that? I knew that if that stuff was black, that it often indicated blood in the stools, but I've never heard of green black before. I know what light green means. When you get to be my age, you experience all different colors over the course of your life. But this was a new one on me. So I didn't know what that was. So it was concerning. I was bothered by it, but I didn't have health insurance. I've been divorced for over a year now. And I had health insurance for the first year after my divorce, which was in this time frame. But it was military insurance, and my military ID was expired, and I didn't have time to go get it, taken care of. So I didn't ever go to the doctor. So even after this, I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that is, but eventually it kind of went away too. But then I started seeing red blood in that, and I'm like, oh, what does that mean? Is it like a hemorrhoid, or maybe that's all it is, or maybe I don't know. I didn't know what it was, but even then, I still didn't really consider going to the doctor, which is stupid. It's something you should do. If you see blood in your stools, you need to be going to the doctor right away. But I didn't. So the thing that really got me deciding I have got to go to the doctor. I didn't have insurance. That's a big reason why I didn't go. Because, well, two reasons. One, because I didn't have insurance. And two, because it seems like every time I go to the doctor, they tell me they don't know what's wrong with me, or there's nothing wrong with me, and they send me home with, like, Tylenol or whatever. So I just didn't go. But what got me deciding I have to go to the doctor is one morning I woke up. Well, I was woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning with like the absolute most emergency type worst diarrhea pains ever. It was horrible. I went running to the bathroom, expecting to go in there and do what normally happens when you have those kind of pains. And I got in there and nothing happened. Nothing came out. I've got these horrible pains, like something should be coming out, and nothing was coming out. Which, okay, so if nothing's coming out, that means these pains aren't going away. And I became quite distressed because it was horrible, awful, painful, like doubled over in pain, kind of painful. So I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting here literally talking to myself, like, what is happening? What is going on? I'm saying this out loud. What's going on? What is this? And eventually the pain was so terrible and nothing was happening. So I was like, I can't sit on this toilet anymore. So I went running to my bed. I was like, well, nothing's coming out. So I'm running to my bed, doubled over in pain, like curled up in a ball in pain. Eventually it kind of subsides. Um, but it doesn't stay gone. It comes back. And this goes on for about an hour of, the waves of pain and nothing coming out. I think throughout the entire hour, I may have had just the smallest amount of anything come out. But the thing was, I didn't feel constipated. There wasn't a feeling of constipation, like I need to push and get something out that's not coming out. I felt empty. But yet these horrible, ridiculously painful diarrhea pains. That really scared me. Scared me a lot. Um, and it was right after that happened. I mean, it was so bad that I had pet sitting jobs I had to do that morning, and I was so scared to go. And I had called my son and said, "Hey, I might need you to do those for me." Well, thankfully, it went on for about an hour and then it stopped. And so I decided to go to a doctor, but I had to get health insurance. So it took me a while to get health insurance. I had to go through all the rigmarole of figuring out what kind of health insurance to get because I'm a real estate agent, I'm a pet sitter, I'm a personal assistant, and I'm kind of a caregiver. And so none of those jobs offer you health insurance. So I had to get it on my own. So I finally went to the doctor after I don't know how many more weeks went by. I finally got my health insurance, went to the doctor immediately. As soon as I got the insurance, they told me I'm good to go and I could make an appointment. I did. And so I will say I'm really, really pleased with the doctor. Because in my experience with going to doctors is you tell them what's wrong with you, they tell you there's nothing wrong with you, and they send you home. But this doctor didn't do that. She spent time. I mean, I was in there for, normally you're in there 5-10 minutes, right? Maybe that's just the military doctor experience. But this was now a civilian doctor. Most of my life I've been going to military doctors. So she spent time with me. I was in there for a good, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Asked me a ton of questions, examined me a little bit, let me ask a ton of questions, and didn't rush me out of there. I didn't leave until I was fully convinced that all of my questions were exhausted, and she ordered me some tests. Of course, she ordered me, I had to submit 2 bowel movement samples, plus a blood test, and yeah, so all that went in, and of course it came back. I do have blood in my urine, not my urine, my stool, and so of course now I'm going to get a colonoscopy, and it took a while. I saw the doctor in the early September, and was it early September? End of August? Might have been end of August. And so my colonoscopy is not scheduled until October 6th. And at first I was like, I can't believe, I've got to wait all this time to get this colonoscopy, and I'm going crazy with thinking about what it could be. Of course, it could just be polyps, and if it's polyps, then they'll just take care of it at the time of the colonoscopy, and everything will go back to normal and life will be good. But it could also be colon cancer. And of course, that's what's been going through my mind. I've been trying not to stress about it. I've been just kind of trying to look at it from a logistical point of view. Like, what am I going to do if I do have it? What am I going to do? Am I going to stay here? Am I going to move to where I have family? Um, what am I going to do? It's really, financially, what do I have to pay bills. And if I'm, sick with chemo for a week or whatever, I can't pay my bills. So what am I going to do? And that's really where I've been trying to keep it, is worrying about, just trying to figure out what I will do if the worst ends up being the case. And I've kind of gotten to a point now where I'm not really all that worried anymore. In the beginning, I was like, I don't have cancer. I'm not worried about that. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, maybe I do. I don't know. Who knows? I could. And then now I'm kind of back to, I don't know that I do. Maybe I don't. So, but I'm glad I've had this time to think about it, to think it through, to process it. Because if I didn't have that time and, I'd gotten the colonoscopy really quick and something bad ended up being the case, I feel like it would have been harder to process. But now, as I feel like I've had a free reign of being able to process without like the consequences, because I don't know what the results are right now, and anything could be the case. So um, that's my story. I wanted to get it out a week before I had my test, um, and I'll find out in a week. What's going on. Of course, the whole prep for something like that is not fun. But if it ends up being real bad, it'll be way worse. So I'm thankful that I've had this time to think and process, and not, I'm not going to worry about it really. I mean, I think about it, but I don't know that I don't really know that I'm worried. People think that I am just because I talk about it and because I say the word cancer. They think that I'm being negative or dramatic. I've been told I'm being dramatic. It's just a possibility. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. Why not? You know, I feel like if you hold it in and don't talk about it, then, I feel like your mental state would be worse. Unless you're someone who can just forget about things. But I'm not. I'm not like that. I think through things a lot. So, anyway, I thought I'd get on here. Haven't done a video in a really long time. Shame on me, because my channel is pretty new and I don't have a big channel and nobody's popped on here while I was recording, which I didn't expect anyone to. But I want to put it out here in the event that something terrible does go down next week and I get bad results. My cat's trying to get in. I've got my door shut. He's trying to open the door. He knows how to open the door. Anyway, let me get this done before he does open the door. And but anyway, if something turns out to be bad next week, well, I'll probably be doing a lot of these, just chronicling my time. So I hope everyone has a good night. We all have a story, and this is part of my story. Being on here at, I don't know, what time is it, 11 o'clock at night with no makeup, freshly washed hair, looking like death warmed over. But until next time, have a great night. Bye-bye. I don't even know how to turn this off.